modded Pokemon Emerald and made it so that my Pokemon only have 1 HP. That means that no matter how powerful my Pokemon end up becoming, any single hit will instantly KO them. Doesn't matter if we're fighting the most epic legendary or a measly little Zigzagoon. Today we're going to answer the age-old question, is it possible to beat Pokemon Emerald if your Pokemon only have 1 single hit point? Let's get into it. We arrive in our home, then swoop in just in time to use our new friend Mudkip to rescue the professor from this fluffy little Oh, we're just dead. Okay. You saved me. Thanks a lot. Oh, I did? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I saved you. I totally remember saving you. As a reward, the professor lets us keep our friend Mudkip, which we nicknamed Madge. You may be wondering why I would pick Mudkip. Isn't it the slowest of the 3 starter Pokemon? Well, yeah it is, but beyond being the cutest and best boy of the 3, there's another reason that makes us pick Mudkip. After saving the professor, there's a mandatory battle against our rival Brendan. This showdown takes place before you have access to Pokeballs, so we can't catch any other Pokemon to help us out. And as you can see on the screen, we're playing this challenge with level caps, set at the next gym leader's highest level Pokemon. So we can't just over-level our Mudkip a ton to beat it. That means that the moves that our Pokemon learns in its first 15 levels are critical. And unlike the other 2 starters, Mudkip actually has a move that will give us somewhat of a chance in this battle. More on that in just a sec. First, for science, we decided to go ahead and challenge Brendan with our level 5 Mudkip, which goes about how you would expect it to go, giving us our very first reset of the run. Okay, no problem. All we need to do is grind on some wild Pokemon to level up a little bit, and then maybe we'll have a chance, right? Well, it turns out that grinding on wild Pokemon with 1 HP, yeah, it's pretty hard. But thankfully, the Wurmples that spawn on the first route will sometimes use the non-damaging move String Shot instead of Tackle. So with enough luck, patience, and exactly 64 resets, we're able to get our Mudkip up to level 11. At level 11, not only are its stats higher, but it's also learned that move that I was talking about before. Mud Slap. Mud Slap is a ground type move that, in addition to doing damage, also lowers the opponent's accuracy, giving the enemy Pokemon a very slight chance to miss its attacks. Lowering accuracy is an ancient technique that's been around since the beginning of Pokemon. Most people will avoid it since it's pretty inconsistent, but here we really have no choice. So we challenge Brendan and start slapping his Trico with mud, which gets in its eyes or something and lowers its accuracy. With its accuracy dropped, we have a very slight chance to live past the first turn. The first couple of battles don't go so well, but eventually, and I know how this looks, but I promise you, it was really on our 69th attempt that we get the RNG we need and take home the fight. Finally, after over 4 hours in the game, we beat our very first trainer battle. I hear you beat Brendan on your first try. That's excellent. Yeah, first try. Yeah. I just spent over 4 hours trying to beat our first battle. If that's not worthy of liking the video and subscribing to the channel, I don't know what is. Anyway, at this point we've finally unlocked Pokeballs, and with those comes the ability to catch Pokemon. So we start chucking balls at the wildlife, getting 1 shot if we don't catch them on the first try, and eventually we get lucky enough to beef up the team a little bit. Our new members may not be strong, but at least they can stand in there and take some hits. We do the whole thing with our dad and his newly adopted son Wally that he clearly likes more than us, whatever. Then catch a Tailo over on the beach here who may or may not become our most important team member in this run. More on that later. And after all of that, we arrive at Rustboro City, the home of the first gym with its leader Roxanne. Everyone knows that rock gyms are for babies, so we immediately go ahead and take a shot at the queen. Okay, excuse me. If you've ever played Pokemon before, you know that rock gyms are always a huge challenge. So with 1 HP, it's even harder. So of course, we heavily prepare for this battle. As we prep, we come to the realization that now that we have 6 Pokemon, grinding is really more of a chore than anything. Alvarad said it best, cheating is based. So we use some rare candies that we procured through the black market to get our team into shape. Now that we've filled our Pokemon to the brim with steroid-laced Jolly Ranchers, Mudkip is able to take out Roxanne's 2 Geodudes and get her nose passed down to heal range. Then our Wingull lands a clutch critical hit to finish it off. And after whiting out a mere 75 times, we get that first badge. At this point, we catch a highly important Nincada, then we rescue our beautiful boy Pico from the Team Aqua grunt in the cave, and sail down to Dewford Town with our new bird best friend. We head into the cave on the island and get another extremely critical catch, Sableye. This thing's dark ghost typing makes it fully immune to normal fighting and psychic moves, which will be super helpful going forward. After concluding our business in the cave, we head over and roll the island's gym leader Brawly first try. With our new badge, we sail over to Slateport City, and now that the level cap is raised, we evolve our Nincada, which gives us the super fast bug Pokemon Ninjask, and also the rotting dead husk of Shedinja, who is the OG king of the 1 HP challenge. For this run, I decided to ban Shedinja because its ability Wonder Guard is pretty degenerate against the AI in this game. Also, it was starting to smell a little bit. After that tough decision, we head out of town and catch another crucial team member, Electrike. Then we run full speed into a major roadblock, the third rival fight against Brendan. This is a notoriously difficult fight in the game. I've lost so many Nuzlockes to this, and speedrunners worldwide fear this showdown. In this challenge, it's no different. We're able to take out his Slugma no problemo, then he sends in his Grovyle, which now has Quick Attack, a move that will pretty much always go first, and since any gentle breeze will KO our Pokemon, that's basically all it needs to sweep us. Over the next couple attempts at this battle, we start to formulate a plan to deal with this quick attacking tree lizard hybrid creature. This plan revolves around Electrike's ability Static. If you don't know, the Static ability has a chance to paralyze your opponent if they use a move that makes contact with you. And you know what move makes contact? Quick Attack. So we should be able to paralyze the Grovyle with Static. Then hopefully someone else on our team can take it out in one hit. Static only has a slight chance to work, so we try the strategy a few times until it activates. Then a lucky paralysis freezes this Grovyle in place, allowing our Swallow to live and get a wing attack off, which takes it out in one hit. Then we finish off his Wingull, and now with Brendan no longer blocking our path, we move on into Mauville City, where we face off against the next gym leader, Watson. Going into this, we were expecting another gimme like our last gym fight, especially since our newly evolved Marshtomp is now part ground type, which means it's fully immune to all of Watson's various electric attacks. So without much of a plan, we challenge the big man. And we don't even make it past his first Pokemon. Great! Looks like it's back to the drawing board. We try out a few different strategies like lowering his team's accuracy with Sand Attack or raising our evasion with Double Team, but this just makes us realize that Watson's signature move, Shockwave, can't actually miss. That's the whole point of the move. It ignores evasion and accuracy drops. And since it's his signature move, every member of his team knows it. So evasion or accuracy strategies are out the window. Another fun little detail about this fight is that both his Electric and his highest level Pokemon, Manectric, have Quick Attack. You know, the move that Brendan just ruined our day with? Yeah, this was a tough one. So how did we end up beating this guy? Well, my friend, our strategy revolves around a couple cheeky immunities and a little move that Sableye learns called Fake Out. This move is totally busted, thanks to its super high priority, which makes it go before most other moves in the game, including Quick Attack. Not only that, but it makes the opponent flinch, meaning they basically lose their turn. Fake Out is OP. The thing is that it can only be used on the first turn after a Pokemon enters the battle. Normally a drawback, but for us, it's perfect. We take out Watson's Voltorb with a Mach Punch from Breloom and a Quick Attack from Swellow, then he brings in his Electrike. Knowing it always goes for a Quick Attack here, we send in Sableye. And since Quick Attack is a normal attack, Sableye is immune to it. We get some decent damage on it with a Fake Out, then knowing it's going to use Shockwave, a move that Sableye is not immune to, we make a swap to Marshtomp, who, thanks to its ground type, is immune to electric attacks. Watson sees that his electric attack won't work and of course goes for Quick Attack again. So we swap back to Sableye and pop this puppy with another Fake Out. Rinse and repeat until we take out his electric. Next up is his Magneton, who also goes for Shockwave, so we swap to Marshtomp for the immunity. Then on the next turn, it confuses us with a Supersonic. Uh-oh, if we hurt ourselves in confusion, we'll just die. Not to worry, we prepared for this too. Before the battle, we gave Marshtomp a Person Berry, which activates and cures its confusion. Then we take out the Magneton with a Mud Shot. Now he's down to his last Pokemon, Manectric, a powerful foe indeed, but it has almost the exact same moveset as his Electric from earlier, so we start employing the old Fake Out swap strategy. Only problem is, Watson has some heals, and Fake Out only has 10 PP. So eventually we run out of Fake Out PP and can't use it anymore, which means that Sableye's no longer able to safely do damage. But we adapt on the fly and spend the next 10 minutes doing the same immunity swap, but without attacking. As we do this, we're stalling out the Manectric's PP on its attacks, and eventually it runs out of damaging moves. Then we take it out easily. Now that we've beaten Waston, we've reached the point in the game where there's a whole bunch of Team Magma, Team Aqua drama. We do all this stuff and beat Maxie on the volcano, then get to the next gym in Lava Ridge Town. We lose our first fight against the gym leader Flannery, but on the next attempt, we're able to brute force through. And after beating Flannery, it's not too long before we're able to return back to Petalburg City to challenge the gym leader / our dad Norman, who specializes in normal types. If you've been paying attention, you'll remember that our friend Sableye is immune to normal type attacks. You might think that by abusing this immunity, we should be able to easily roll through this fight, right? Well, yeah, that's exactly what we do. Easy. At this point, we surf around and make our way through some rainy bits, solve a crisis at the Weather Institute, and beat Brendan again. As we're working through this part of the game, Swallow learns a move that will become a key pillar of our strategy moving forward, a move called Endeavor. When used, Endeavor sets your opponent's HP to be equal to your own. And since we only have 1 HP, you can kind of see where this is going, right? Not only that, but Swallow is one of the fastest Pokemon in the game, so it should almost always be able to get an Endeavor off in battle. Anyway, after all that stuff, we arrive at Four Tree City to take on the next gym leader, Winona. This battle right here is our first fight against an opponent with 5 Pokemon, and that alone makes it pretty difficult, so we do end up losing our first try, but fortunately for us, Winona's specialty is the flying type, which is weak to electric attacks. And our strongest attacking Pokemon just so happens to be Manectric, the electric type. We're able to use it to take out our Swablu, then we use a cheeky Endeavor from Swallow and a Fake Out from Sableye to take out her Altaria. Then, thanks to an incredibly clutch paralysis on her Skarmory, we clutch it out with Manectric. After beating this gym, there's a whole bunch more Team Aqua, Team Magma stuff that's really not even remotely interesting, so we'll go ahead and skip forward until we get to the next gym. This gym poses a unique challenge that we luckily haven't had to deal with much in this run so far. In this gym, you take on the co-gym leader twins, Liza and Tate, who specialize in psychic types. The twist here is that these battles are in the doubles format, which adds a whole big layer of complexity. Without thinking too much about it, we go ahead and try to cheese the gym with a couple dark types, which are immune to psychic attacks. Doesn't go well. We find out that the gym leaders' teams are designed for doubles, meaning they have a bunch of moves like Rock Slide and Earthquake that hit both of our Pokemon at the same time. Normally not too big of an issue, but since our Pokemon only have 1 HP, these moves instantly KO 2 of our Pokemon at a time. So, as is pretty much always the case in a challenge like this, we end up needing a bit of luck to get past this ordeal. But this time, the luck comes earlier than expected. In our second attempt at this fight, we fake out their Claydol turn 1 so it flinches and can't use Earthquake, then take out their Xatu with the Thunderbolt. From here, we swap in Swallow for Shiftry and paralyze their Lunatone with the Thunder Wave. Thanks to its flying type, Swallow's immune to the Earthquake from Claydol, but Manectric goes down. So we bring Shiftry back in, then we get incredibly lucky with the full paralysis on their Lunatone. The next turn, we use Endeavor to bring Claydol down to 1 HP and fake it out with Shiftry. We pray for a full paralysis on Lunatone so that our Pokemon survive, and the Pokemon gods answer with just that. We know that they'll heal their Claydol on this turn, so we go for the Wombo combo of another Endeavor and a Feint Attack from Shiftry, which takes it out. Then on this same turn, we get an unprecedented third full paralysis on Lunatone, which allows Swallow to live and get another Endeavor off on Solrock on the following turn. It does take out Shiftry with a Flamethrower, and Lunatone is finally able to move and take out Swallow with a Psychic. But the next turn, we fake out the Solrock and finish it with a Surf from Swampert. Now it's a 2v1, so Breloom and Sableye are able to clutch it out and secure the victory. After defeating the twins, we head over to the space station, or whatever this building is, to team up with Steven against the Team Magma leader Maxie and his second in command. This is a sort of weird battle where you select 3 of your Pokemon, and Steven selects 3 of his Pokemon, and you all team up in a double battle. In our first attempt at this fight, we get our opponents down to their very last Pokemon on 1 HP. All Steven needs to do is tap it in with any attack. But much to our dismay, we find out that if all of your Pokemon faint in this battle, you lose. Regardless of if Steven has Pokemon remaining and could easily win it on his own, or the fact that the other 3 members of our team are just sitting there healthy in our bag, we still lose. And that's what I like to call good game design. What makes this fight extra fun and awesome for this challenge is the fact that since we have 1 HP all the time, the AI always sees a 1-hit kill on our Pokemon, so it basically always attacks us. There were turns where our side would get double attacked and we would just lose 2 out of our 3 Pokemon without being able to do anything about it. Not to mention the fact that Steven's Medang will oftentimes pass up a guaranteed kill to set up a light screen or something stupid like that. This battle truly sucked. Low on patience, we decide that it's a good idea for us to just bash our head against this fight until we get somewhere. After trying everything, including trying to send in Steven's Pokemon, which doesn't work, and racking up an absurd amount of resets, we finally had something remotely resembling a strategy. We lead with Swampert, who's able to one-shot the camera up with a Surf, then Steven's Medang gets big damage on the Golbat that comes in, and we finish it off with a Fake Out from Sableye on the next turn. Now with the Golbat gone, we end up in a situation with two Mightyenas on the other team, neither of which have an attack that can actually hit Sableye. So we're able to take them both out with the help of Medang. Now the Team Magma second in command is out of Pokemon, so we get to 2v1 Maxie's last two team members. His Crobat takes out our Sableye, then we bring in Pelipper to start stalling with Protect, which goes surprisingly well. And thanks to an incredibly poorly timed swap from Maxie, we're able to take out his Camerupt, then Protect for a turn. And amazingly on this turn, the Medang actually does something and finishes off the Crobat with a Psychic. All I just want to expand the landmass. That's a weird goal, dude! From here, we head to the underwater cave with Kyogre, where we defeat the Team Aqua leader Archie after a couple resets. But unfortunately, we're too late. The two bozos have already made the legendaries Kyogre and Groudon big mad. Come on, guys. Please stop. Even asking very nicely doesn't calm the legendaries down. So we get their older brother Rayquaza, who intervenes. Then we're able to take on the final gym leader in Pseudopolis, Juan. This fight ends up being a quick Thunderbolt sweep from Manectric up until his Kingdra, which we paralyze, then the rest of our team finishes off. With that, we've secured all 8 gym badges, so it's time for our final challenge against the Elite Four. We head through Victory Road and into the Elite Four building and start preparing. We know that these fights are going to be insanely tough, so we spend a good amount of time making sure that we have the correct squad for the job. We end up bringing Swellow, Swampert, Manectric, Sableye, Breloom, and the nuclear option, Ninjask. Why is Ninjask the nuclear option? Oh, you'll see. The first fight against Sydney is reasonably straightforward. Not too much strategy involved, we just use powerful moves and make smart swaps and take him out. Our trouble starts when we go up against the second trainer, Phoebe, and her ghost types. We thought we had a strategy going in. We were just going to use Endeavor against her Pokemon and abuse the fact that Swellow is part normal type, making it immune to ghost type attacks. Perfect. But as we swiftly found out in our first battle, Endeavor doesn't work on ghost types. So that ends up being a reset. Over the next few attempts at this battle, we try to come up with a new strategy, and eventually we find something promising. We use Swellow and Manectric to take down her lead Dusclops, then she brings in her second Dusclops, which we paralyze with Thunder Wave. Then we manage to get 3 lucky paralyses in a row, allowing Manectric to do big damage with Thunderbolt, then roar this thing out and bring in her Sableye, which we paralyze. From here, Manectric does get taken out with a Shadow Ball, and at this point, most of our team is dead. And this battle has gone into completely uncharted territory. So we feel like we should just reset, but something deep inside us tells us to push through and see where this goes. Swampert finishes off the Sableye, and then we find out that Swampert also outspeeds her 2 Bannettes, and this is where something miraculous happens. We land a critical Earthquake on the first Bannett, then the highest damage roll we've seen yet on the second, taking them both out. And finally, Swampert finishes off her last Pokemon, Dusclops, from half health with one last Earthquake, securing us the victory. After Phoebe comes Glacia, the Ice Specialist. This one isn't too hard, we just abuse Ice's various weaknesses to plow right through her team. Then we get to the 4th and final member of the Elite Four, the Dragon Specialist Drake. This battle is different. The first 3 battles, we had at least a vague strategy going into them. This Drake fight though, we didn't really have a plan at all. And what do you do without a plan? Flail around until something works. So we try a bunch of different ideas over the 35 attempts that we took at this fight, with nothing showing much promise. Eventually, we run out of ideas, so we decide it's time to deploy the nuclear option. What's the nuclear option, you ask? Well, you may have noticed that our last team member, Ninjask, hasn't done anything up to this point. And if you look at its moveset, you'll see it has no attacking moves. That's because it doesn't need to attack. All it needs to do is survive. As it survives, its ability Speed Boost will do just that, boost its speed. While that's happening, we'll be using Double Team to boost its evasion and Swords Dance to boost its attack. You may be wondering what it's going to do with all those stat boosts if it doesn't have any damaging moves. Well, that's where its final move, Baton Pass, comes in. Baton Pass switches Ninjask out and allows us to bring in another member of our team. But unlike just switching Pokemon regularly, with Baton Pass, all the stat boosts of the user are passed on to the Pokemon that you bring in. So what we're able to do to ultimately defeat Drake is hit his lead Shelgon with the Thunder Wave to paralyze it, then bring in Ninjask, who uses Double Team and Swords Dance a bunch, and thanks to a copious amount of luck, we're able to use Baton Pass and bring in Sableye, who then uses its boosted speed and attack to sweep Drake's team with Shadow Ball. You can see why I called it the nuclear option, right? Scorched Earth indeed. Anyway, with Drake defeated, we have just one battle remaining. Our final showdown against the champion Wallace. Boy, does this battle not disappoint. It ends up being our biggest challenge of the entire run. Wallace is a water specialist, so we start off trying to take out his team with Manectric. Maybe we can pull off an easy sweep with some super effective electric attacks, right? Well, his Whiscash has some other ideas. We're able to take it out and get Manectric back in, but the rest of his team is just too tanky to get one-shot by Thunderbolts. We try the same thing a couple times, hoping for some crits, but not even lucky criticals can win us this fight. We roll out a few different iterations of this strategy as the resets rack up. We even tried the nuclear option, setting up against his Wailord, but still no luck there. Then we have a brilliant idea. We realize we can merge our two strategies. We use Manectric to take out his Wailord and Gyarados. Then, when he brings in his Whiscash, knowing it's going to go for an Earthquake, we swap to Ninjask. We lower its accuracy with a Sand Attack and brace for the impact of the Surf to hit our buggy boy. Amazingly though, the Surf misses. Then the next two turns, Whiscash goes for Earthquakes for some reason, which can't hit Ninjask. We see our opportunity. We go for our usual combo of Swords Dance and Double Team and keep getting lucky miss after lucky miss. Now with our attack boosted up enough, we go for a Baton Pass and bring in Swampert. We only need one last miss to take this home. Please. Incredibly, the Whiscash misses its Surf, and we're able to get off a boosted Earthquake to take it out. From here, not even his Ludicolo can stand against our mega boosted Earthquakes, and we're able to sweep the rest of his team. Just like that, we've done it. We've beaten Pokemon Emerald with our Pokemon only having a single hit point. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. Till next time.